Strap in for the world's fastest half hour. You're on the Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. And brought to you by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Herbert and Marty Huff.
This is the Straight Line on Drag Racing. Thanks for stopping by our half hour of horsepower. Appreciate you being with us. Today we have first time and second time national event winners. Pro stocker Deric Kramer joins us, and our good buddy Clay Millican celebrates victory number 2 with us. We're in the beans and set to launch another edition of the Straight Line. Wherever you may be, coast to coast, around the world, this is the Straight Line on Drag Racing at MRN.com. My name is Marty Huff, back at the MRN studios in Concord, North Carolina. And I'm telling you what, we got the hookup from Racing Electronics because they hook us up with just about everybody all over the country when we talk on the hotline. But our hotline's going all the way to Budapest, Hungary. Doug Herbert, what the heck are you doing in Budapest, Hungary?
Well, man, I'll tell you what, I couldn't miss this show. With Clay Millican winning his second race, Courtney Force winning a back-to-back deal. I'm so happy for Clay Millican to win his second race at Topeka, where I've won races before. The energy is so incredible, and I'm so happy to see Clay win these races. Number 2 in points, all the thing that is going on. Gosh, I just can't even tell you. Just everything that's going on. David Grubnick is doing such a great job running that car. It's so fun to watch. It's just so fun to watch and see Clay do so well. And I'm proud to be his friend. So
on the other end of the line, we do have the driver of the Great Clips Parts Plus dragster and the winner at Topeka. How about that? Clay Millican, join us.
And I'm not in Budapest, Hungary. I'm in Drummond's, Tennessee.
I mean, that couldn't be any further from Drummond's than if you wanted to.
That's pretty amazing. I tell you, I want to feel like this is a worldwide show we're doing this afternoon.
International. Yeah,
it is.
No question about that. Clay, I think we're just going to go ahead and call you the janitor because you took a broom and swept everything at Topeka. As Doug said, low ET, top speed, winner of the race. I mean, you took everything. Were you that confident going in to the race and thinking that you've made just clean house from top to bottom?
Well, if you would ask me that after our run Friday night, I probably wouldn't have said it because we were setting 16th qualifier at that point.
Well,
and I really, to be honest, at some points, along the way, I would have been nervous being number 16 and, not knowing what the weather was going to give us. Everyone was talking rain on Saturday and this, that, and other. But long story short, third qualifying session, Grubby had told me, we're watching Audrey Worm. She was the first car down the racetrack. We were the second. He said, according to what she does is according to what I'm going to do. I've got 2 scenarios set up to tune the car. One is to just make it go down the racetrack. If she doesn't bump us out, at that point, I'm going to tune it up a little bit. And it's been a lot made. I've seen a lot of stories out there that, we accidentally qualified number 1,
yeah,
which is kind of true, kind of not. Truth is, Grubby set the car up to run, 75, 76 in that area, and it goes 73 on a very hot racetrack. Happy surprise, let's just call it that.
You're right.
And go from number 16 to number 1, and at that point, I was definitely pretty confident. And then it was just such a long day on Sunday. I'm strapped in the car, at basically 10:45 in the morning, ready to go, and here comes the rain, and then you got an 8 hours before we got back in the car again for first round. So, but to be honest, it was
that
definitely
gives you a long time to
incredible.
focus.
Yeah, it is, and
Right?
the deal, Doug. I mean, it's like you're all pumped up and you're ready and everything's like, it's right, let's go do this. And then you got to wait 8 hours and you got to go through that process again. And we beat Terry Totten, he's a newcomer. We beat him first round. We ran pretty decent. We did lose lane choice going into the second round, which was also Sunday night. And we're racing Doug Coletta. As far as I'm concerned, one of the greatest drivers to ever get in a top fuel car. The guy's bad to the bone, and the car runs good, And when we beat him, I'm like, all right, this is just like the old IHRA days. We're going to run till midnight,
Yeah.
This is awesome. It's right up my alley, and I'm a nighttime guy. I'm not a morning person. And, and of course, then they tell us, nope, we're going to finish tomorrow, and it's like, so here we go again. We got to wait all night long and then kind of get back in that groove again, get yourself pumped up, get ready to stomp on that loud pedal. But what a weekend, it was unbelievable. I'm kind of leaving out that we went 367 in the semifinals against the Army car. That was pretty cool, too. Oh, man.
Well, I'll tell you what a great weekend. So happy to see you guys. You told me a year or 2 years ago, Grubby's going to get it. He's working on it, and I knew he would because he's a smart guy. He analyzes the data, he understands the data, and he makes changes based on the data to make the car run well. And I believe I'm sure that's what he's been doing the last the last year or so to make that car run as good as it is. And it gives you confidence to drive the car and win the race like you did this weekend. So that makes me so happy, and I'm so glad.
Oh, it is. Grubby is, he's definitely the talk of the pit area. He's he's the man of Top Fuel right now. No two ways about that. He is unbelievably smart, and I know you and he had a lot of fun racing against each other. Whether even in qualifying, I happen to know these two guys used to bet on who had the better reaction time. And
it was a high dollar bet too. $5 bet every freaking run.
That bet was $1, by the way.
$1 on the line.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, Clay, you were talking about Doug Coletta and being one of the baddest dudes out there, and you were ready for him with an 042 light. You were ready to hit that loud pedal.
Oh yeah, and my sisters, they did not let up on that. The fact that it was 9 o'clock.
And we've lost Clay Millican. All right. Well, we'll have to.
Oh, man, I'm lucky I didn't lose you. I'm in Budapest, halfway around the world, and I didn't lose you, Marty.
No. So we'll have to get him back on.
I've got a couple of things to say. So happy to Clay Millican that he could win, and he is right. Doug Coletta was a USAC Silver Crown champion, and he is one of the, there's nothing that Coletta team doesn't have to win, and Doug Coletta is probably. Scott Coletta was so good, but Doug Coletta, he has followed right in this footstep. He is one of the greatest drivers to ever get in a top fuel car. For Clay to beat Doug on the way to winning this race in Topeka, what a great win that is. Yeah. And I'm so proud of Clay, and just so happy to be able to talk to Clay today and
tonight for you.
See this one come around.
Yeah,
tonight for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Around here in Budapest, I can tell you that.
So we're showing up on the screen right now some shots from you that you posted on Twitter of Budapest, and you and Mimi, and also probably your hotel room looking down at the Parliament over the Blue Danube. It has to be an amazing experience. I'm glad you're getting this opportunity to visit one of the most beautiful cities in the entire world.
Well, I didn't even post them on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere. They are exclusive to the Straight Line at MRN.com. I can tell you that. We are so happy to do this show. We've been doing it for a long time now, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to be with you, Marty, and so glad that we can bring drag racing news out to the world. Yeah,
absolutely. Doug, we're going to let you go. Deric Kramer's on the line with us, and we're going to take a quick break here. Enjoy your time in Budapest, and hopefully next week I think we're going to get a hold of you in Rome.
Absolutely. Well, happy Deric Kramer could win this first ever race. So proud of him, and I will be looking forward to talking to you next week in Rome.
All right, thanks, Doug. Appreciate your time.
All right, see you guys.
I appreciate Clay Millican also joining us here on the Straight Line. And when we return from the break, we will talk to a first-time Pro Stock winner. Deric Kramer will join us next.
Keep your windshield clean with Bosch Pure Vision wiper blades. Buy one and get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Bosch Pure Vision wiper blades install in one easy step, and Bosch's Quiet Glide finish ensures clear vision in any weather. Bosch Pure Vision wiper blades. Buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Country 500 Music Festival is back at Daytona International Speedway. With Toby Keith, Chris Stapleton, Dierks Bentley, Sugarland, Billy Currington, and so much more. Country 500 Memorial Day weekend, May 25th, 26th, and 27th. For tickets and information, visit country500.com. Sponsored in part by Budweiser.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. Take down the number now for the Federal Tax Management Hotline, 800-242-1706, 800-242-1706.
Welcome back to the Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Here's more with Marty Huff.
Appreciate you being here on MRN.com. It is the Straight Line. And joining us on the Racing Electronics Hotline right now is the driver of the American Ethanol Chevy Camaro and winner at Topeka this weekend. Deric Kramer joins us. Deric, welcome to the show. Congratulations on your first national event win.
Hey, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Has it sunk in yet?
A little. As I bring the trophy into the office and show the guys around my day job and whatnot. Yeah, it's a little surreal still, but yeah, it's starting to sink in.
Yeah, you mentioned it, and people may not know, but you do actually have a 9-to-5 job in between going to 24 race events during the season. Tell us about that and what you do besides being at the racetrack.
Yeah, so I'm a software developer. I write iPhone apps. I currently write iPhone apps for a company called Blinker. We make an app where you can take a picture of your car and buy and sell it right there on your phone with just a simple picture.
And so I'm sure everybody at the office knows what you do for quote a hobby. So when everybody showed up to work on now Tuesday, and you show up with a Wally, I mean everybody's got to be bouncing off the walls, right?
Oh yeah, everyone was super excited. So they've been following me for the few years that I've been here, and yeah, the finally seeing the success and everything, everyone was super happy.
And so let's just talk about that. First of all, let's go back to first round, and that was an interesting one. I mean, they talk about everybody needs a little bit of luck here or there to be able to get that win, whether it's your first one or whether it's your second or 50th, and you got that in the first round. Talk about the pedal fest that you had to go through to get through the first round and eventually to victory lane.
Oh, absolutely. So about the top of third gear, I felt it get real loose, and I had to just abort the run. And I didn't hear him next to me right away, and so I tried to put it back in high gear, and it didn't go immediately right away. And so I again the clutch back in, tried to get it into high gear, and at that point I was like, oh well, I've pretty much missed the opportunity. If he's coming, he's going to pass me. So I was just waiting for that finish line. Seemed like it took forever, but ended up getting there, and the light came on in my lane, so I was super excited.
So, and this also has another interesting twist along with everything else. Will Hatcher is making his first run in a national event, and he's doing it in your car. So you are driving, or you are competing against your own car in the other lane, and if you know what that car is capable of, And so, I mean, there's got to be a million things going through your mind, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I know that I have to make a good run to win, because that car goes up and down the racetrack pretty consistently every time we've ran it. So I'm hoping, basically, like I said, sitting in there, I'm just hoping that that I can get there first.
Now, we just showed a replay of the final run against Erica, and Greg and Jason, Greg Anderson, Jason Line from KB Racing, they're on the line. You get your horsepower from those guys. They're celebrating down on the line just like they had just won themselves. So it had to have been a really cool feeling to get back eventually and talk with those guys and kind of hash out how the weekend went for you, for everybody involved. Talk about your relationship with the KB guys.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are great. They are. They have championships up and down the side of their trailers for a reason. They are some of the best guys in racing right now. It's just insane how good they are. They we're super excited. All of them came up to the top end of the track after I won. Everyone was shaking my hand, hugs, high fives all around. It was amazing.
And you were definitely ready to go. Unfortunately, you had to go by Jason Line to get to that final round, cutting a 006 light, and then in the final against Erica Enders, one of the best levers on the property, cutting a 009. Dude, I mean, you were in the zone.
Yeah, definitely. I've been practicing quite a bit, working on it as best I can. Between all the fighting that I do and all the other stuff, my hand-eye coordination is pretty good. It's just the tying it all together on race day and making sure the nerves don't get there. And because I know a couple of rounds earlier in the year, I screwed up and obviously went red quite a few times earlier in the year. And I just wanted to make sure I was calm enough in the car so that I could just do my job.
You mentioned
that worked pretty well.
And you mentioned hand-eye coordination. When you need to defend yourself, that's pretty important, and you do that. You mentioned fighting. Talk about some of the other things that you do outside of the race car and your full-time job. One of those is fencing.
Yep, absolutely. So I do what's called historical fencing. I fight in a organization called the SCA, Society for Creative Anachronism, and that's exactly what it is. It's a full-speed martial art with swords, basically. It's a lot of fun, and you're absolutely right. I mean, you need the hand-eye coordination to be able to parry and block and defend yourself, so you can win that fight.
So, do you think that correlates to being able to do your job behind the wheel? And the clutch hand and the in shifting and steering and all that I mean, when you're behind the wheel in a pro stock car, you are a busy dude, and same can be said about fencing. So is there a correlation, or am I just making that up?
No, absolutely there is. So when I'm fighting somebody, I'm looking for a shoulder twitch, I'm looking for the hips rotating, something like that. It's the same thing as that shift light coming on. As soon as I see it, I know where it's going, and I have to do something about it. So it's that same mentality, and I can definitely tell weeks when I'm at the racetrack, like over the Western Swing, for instance. I don't get a lot of time to go fight, and over the Western Swing, I get a little more antsy, a little more amped up than I normally will, because I just haven't had time to fight in the off time.
Yeah, and so we had you on here about a month ago, 6 weeks ago or so, and I don't know how many times Herbert has said it to somebody, especially in the pro stock class. He says, just hang in there, it's going to come, and when they come, they're going to come in bunches. The first one was Erica Enders here about 5 years ago, and then it was like 2 weeks later, she went to Chicago, got her first win, and now she's a multiple-time champion. And we've done this with a bunch of other guys. Vincent Nobile comes to mind, and a bunch of others. He did that for you here about a month ago. So just get ready, dude, because it's happening. They're going to come in bunches. So you now wear that ring from Doug Herbert, and so hopefully multiple wins are coming for you.
Well, I hope so. That's definitely the goal. So.
Now, coming up next is Chicago. Where are you based out of?
From the Colorado area, Denver, Sterling, Colorado area.
Yeah, right. And so it's not going to be very far for you to get to Chicago. Thoughts on headed to Route 66 Raceway?
Chicago's kind of been my white whale for a lot of years. We've been trying to go for a long time, and I've just had things come up. And being a part-time team, as they come up, we just end up not going. I had a wedding one time, just little stuff coming up, and I'm really looking forward to going. And I'm definitely looking forward to going as the last week winner.
Deric Kramer, driver of the American Ethanol Chevy Camaro, congratulations on finally getting that first national event win. Hope more success for you in the coming races, and good luck at Route 66 Raceway coming up.
Thank you so much.
Deric Kramer joining us on the Straight Line, and when we return, we'll have more of the show.
Things happen fast in racing, and if you don't know where to look, you can miss it all. With Legend from Racing Electronics, you'll never miss another moment. Legend gives you live fan vision video, in-car cameras, and stats at premier National Series events, and the next generation race scanner for unfiltered driver and crew audio at any motorsports event nationwide. Race fans have never been closer to the action. Welcome to the future of the fan experience. Learn more by visiting racingelectronics.com.
Restore your vehicle's lost power by cleaning your entire fuel system with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Right now, buy one bottle and get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Keep your engine clean and improve performance with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series, the world's fastest motorsport, is returning to Chicago.
339 miles an hour.
NHRA's best top fuel dragster and funny car drivers are ready to face off at the Route 66 NHRA Nationals, May 31st through June 3rd at Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. General admission and reserve tickets are available for Friday Night on Fire, All-Star Saturday, and Championship Sunday. Get tickets early and save at Route66Raceway.com. Ignite your senses.
You're listening to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, back to Marty Huff.
Appreciate you joining us here on the Straight Line, and also a big thanks to Clay Millican and Deric Kramer for joining us on the Straight Line this afternoon, and also a big load of thanks to our friends at O'Reilly Auto Parts, and they sponsor this segment called Red Light, Green Light that we do every week here on the Straight Line. And this week, it's definitely a red light because it is a scary moment. We haven't seen a blowover in dragsters in a long, long time. But this weekend at Topeka, and we see it here on the screen, we saw that in top alcohol dragster. Steve Collier goes straight over in a blowover that, again, we haven't seen blowover, and I can't remember the last time we saw a blowover. But it does happen from time to time, and unfortunately it happened to Steve Collier, where the wheelie bar apparently broke on the car, and then the air got under it just a little bit, and then all of a sudden he went over. And unfortunately, we'll have to ask Herbert about this. Unfortunately, Doug Herbert knows about this because he was involved in one of the scarier blowovers that we've seen in the last 20 years or so. His happened at Dallas, and so next week we'll talk to Herbert about that, about being involved in a blowover and what exactly happens and what is happening in the cockpit when that thing goes over like that. Fortunately for Steve Collier, he was awake and alert and was under his own power, walked to the ambulance, got in. They kept him overnight just for observation, and fortunately, he is physically okay. Obviously, the car, not so much, but we'll see Steve Collier back again on the top alcohol dragster trail here in the near future. And when we return, we'll wrap up another great edition of the show.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Join MRN as we travel through the life of NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway, leading the pack.
I won races that I never thought I'd win.
From growing up under the Earnhardt name to super speedway wins to Whiskey River, we dive into everything Dale Jr.
He's Rain Man for NASCAR history.
You know, we weren't the typical family that got to sit down to dinner together.
Tune in to Junior's Journey, available on iTunes for download only on the Motor Racing Network.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up 5 quarts of Quaker State Chevron or Haviland conventional motor oils and a MicroGuard filter for only $18.99. Extend the life of your vehicle and improve engine performance with Quaker State Chevron or Haviland at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Brands may vary by location. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, once again, here's Marty Huff.
Appreciate you being here on MRN.com and The Straight Line on a Thursday afternoon. Big thanks to Racing Electronics for their help. For 3 decades, Racing Electronics has been the #1 choice for racing scanners, headsets, and the popular Fan Vision handheld unit. Racing Electronics provides the ultimate fan experience for drag racing fans. Stop by our trackside location or visit racingelectronics.com for more information. Let's take a look at the point standings in NHRA National Event, Mellow Yellow National Event. The point standings right now, and in Top Fuel right now, as we were mentioning, Clay Millican right now second in points. Steve Torrance leads the way, and he was the one that got out of the gate faster than just about anybody else, and now everybody else is kind of falling in line. Clay Millican now with a win under his belt. Tony Schumacher, Doug Coletta, Leah Pritchett, and Terry McMillan. How about that? Terry McMillan, we wanted to talk to Clay Millican about that a little bit and didn't get the opportunity, but Millican and McMillan in the final, 2 guys that have been kind of going back and forth over the last couple of years, kind of about the same speed, and now all of a sudden Terry McMillan is right there and right in the middle of the championship battle heading to Chicago. Taking a look real quick at funny cars, this is going to get really interesting because once you look at about 8th on back, it gets really interesting. Cruz Pedregon has already won a race this year, and he's 8th. Sean Langdon, Johnny Lindbergh, Tim Wilkerson, John Force at 12th, and Bob Tasca. All of those guys have the opportunity to win races, go on a roll, and get into the top 10. I'm telling you, Funny Car is going to be the division to watch going forward. And a quick look at Pro Stock going into Chicago. Vincent Nobile right now on top. Greg Anderson, 2nd place, has not won a race this year. Very interesting. Deric Kramer, who we just had on the straight line, now 4th in points, and Bo Butner in 5th, last year's champion. Big thanks to everybody, including Doug Herbert, Clay Millican, Deric Kramer for joining us on the straight line. I'm Marty Huff. We will talk to you next week here on the straight line.